Alrighty.
Yeah, so the lighting is all good. You can take.
Let me do my little Buddha meditative.
Take as
This
many
for a second?
breaks as you want, obviously, since I'm editing it.
Okay, we're ready.
Okay.
Oh, Lordy. Roughly 10 years ago, already the mother of 2 beautiful children, I chose to have an abortion. And it was the first time in my life that I made a decision absolutely by myself, and most notably, in the absence of both my mom and my sister, who at the time were going through a lot of things surrounding the imminent death of our beloved grandmother. So I felt that it would have been a selfish act to be calling her and saying, this is what's happening with me. Here I was pregnant again. My kids were still little. I would have loved that. It's a miracle. It's miraculous. Even with all the sickness and fear, I loved being pregnant. But I knew that I wouldn't be able to hold down my job because I was immediately already so sick. I feared for being able to provide for my children if something happened and I couldn't work anymore. I feared what would happen to them if I died having this baby. And that same week, my grandmother took a turn for the worse, was extremely ill, death was imminent. Who could I turn to? Had to turn to myself to make that decision. It was hard. I fell to my knees in the bathroom, looking at it. But even in that moment, even when that was so terrible, and I was judging myself unmercifully, I knew that I had made the right decision and that I would not be jeopardizing my existing actual children in any way because I had made a decision that was the best for them. Very much the lessons of that decision and the changes to me as an adult thinking woman came only in retrospect. But the ramifications were in the now.
Talk a little bit about where you grew up, about your town.
Yes.
Parents.
Yes,
perhaps.
think, yeah. I'm born in Aleppo, Syria, but I was raised in a town called Latakia, and Banyas part of it. It's a big oil port. There was a British oil company. My dad was working there. He was very open-minded. He respected women. He believed in women. And that's why he encouraged me to go to college. So when I told him I want to study English literature, he was so excited. But though in those times, we're talking 69, in that time, girls didn't go away from home for college. And I had to go to another town like 300 miles away. But he was with the idea. He encouraged me, though all his friends and some of the family members, they were against it. But he stood up for me, and I went to college and fulfilled my dream and got a degree in English literature. Those days, a girl doesn't leave her home until she get married. You know, those days, now things different. Yeah, so that was to me a revolution. You know, I'm standing against the whole town, the whole culture. Going to college, I had the best time. You know, to study literature is very, very beautiful because, you know, literature is about the human beings, the human soul, the human minds. You know, and to me, the human being is the most important thing in life.
Okay.
Hi.
So we're doing the first story, right?
Yes. I was 14 or 15, I can't remember the exact age, and my parents had divorced. But when my dad moved out of state, there was a lien on our property, the house that me and my mom and my brother lived in. And he had filed for bankruptcy. And because he had had my mom sign on a lot of different papers, she was named in the bankruptcy as well. the tax people, I guess for lack of a better word, were going to come to our house and value everything that we had in our house. And then they could either take stuff away if they thought we had more property than we should have. They could sell stuff. They could take what they wanted to, basically, to satisfy the lien that was against the property. So we basically spent a weekend moving things out of our house to someone else's house if we could move it. So when the tax guys came, it wasn't there. So anything that we thought that was of value in some way, we moved to our friends' houses temporarily. It was a time where I thought, okay, you have to grow up a little bit. That we have to, be a family we all take care of each other. And it's not my mom taking care of me and my brother. It's all of us taking care of each other. We had all these friends. I mean, they weren't our biological family, but all these people who were willing to help us. It just kind of expanded my definition of what family really means. That it's not just your biological family, but it's all the people who love you and support you and who are there to help you for whatever. And so it was just a time where I learned, parents are human beings and sometimes you don't like what they do, like with my dad, but with my mom, I felt like it made us all closer and pulled this extended family together that I still have today.
Like, I can talk about it for I have more subject on that.
Yeah, if you just start from the beginning.
I was 17 when I left home. I went to nursing school. It was hard because it wasn't like a socially accepted profession in India, especially. And going to nursing school was hard. It was rough. Everybody was going to grad school, undergrad, university. I was the only one went to nursing school after all my classmates went to college. And for them, I was like, for them it was inferior. Like, I went to nursing school. Nursing school was like, it's like for poor people. It's, you just are like a maid. I wanted to leave India not because I didn't love India. I still love India because that's my homeland, but I wanted to get a freedom. And not that I didn't get freedom at home, but outside of home. Yeah, but in India I was never proud. I was proud inside me, among my friends, but I could never go out and enjoy that. I'm a nurse. Being here, I feel a lot more proud. Like, from India to USA, it was a journey after that. Everything I achieved today is because of nursing school. Honestly, I mean, it's like a one-word answer. It's like whoever I am is because of my teachers, influence from my other patients, and the family members, and the doctors, and it's just been like it's a dream come true.
So, what is it that you're thinking of talking about?
God, I know I'm gonna cry now. So I grew up in a family with 4 girls, 4 sisters. We were all born right in a row. And then 9 years after me, I was the youngest. My mom had identical twin boys. And my oldest sister, Dale, was always like the mother in our family, even though we were all very close as sisters. But my sister was always like the mother figure to all of us. We always looked to her for like the place of safety or security. Like when I was living in Japan and I was having some problems, I wanted to come home and be taken care of. I went and stayed at her house, and that's where I felt the most safe. And I never really thought she was going to die. I always thought that if I prayed hard enough and if I did the right things, that she would survive. I guess, I just was trying to figure out what I could do to save her. And in the end, I guess what I learned from all of it is that I couldn't save her, but that her death was a gift to me, and that's what made me become a better person and transform who I was through watching her transformation through her death. You know, it was really about Dale and her own transformation and becoming the person who she always was through her illness, and that she was able to do that, and that she, even though she was working on becoming a teacher, that we felt sad that she didn't get to achieve that goal of being a teacher, but that she really had already achieved that by teaching us.
Or you can ask me. You
Yeah.
can go.
Okay, so tell me about this significant time in your life. Round
Okay.
two.
Round two. I got a job with a female attorney named Judy at her law firm. She was a partner there. And I was her paralegal. And we just kind of hit it off. She had a big impact on me because she was this woman that was really strong and really independent, and kind of, I think, helped me to realize that there was more than one or two ways to live your life, whether you're a woman or a man, you know. So I think it helped me to own a little bit more of my femaleness, my sexuality, all of that. She was just kind of doing things that, quote, men were supposed to be doing, like, you know, having her own business and sleeping around and just kind of doing whatever she wanted. And that to me was eye-opening. I ultimately chose a different path than she chose, because she was all career woman, and I'm still married to the same man I was married to at that point, and I went on to have 2 kids, and I chose to stay home with them. I still felt like I was being true to myself and myself as a woman. I just was doing it a different way. It caused her and forced her to reevaluate a little bit what my choice was, and that, oh yeah, okay, she can also live a life different than me and still be a feminist, or you know, and still not concede my womanhood. The timing was just so perfect for me that it was a huge point for me in my life, because I feel like I grew up right then, and I really kind of became just strong and confident in who I was, and focused on just being the best person that I could be, the way that I wanted to do it, and not what anybody else wanted me to do.
Chicken kilts, Scottish kilts.
funny.
Oh my
It
gosh.
was great.
Yeah, you see, those are the times that, yeah, so much different to now.
I think it was when I was 11 when my parents divorced. I'm the eldest of 5. I have 3 brothers and 1 sister, and it kind of just spurred me on to be like kind of mother hen, because my mum had to work. And I know I always said there's no way I'm never ever going to get divorced. Never. When I get married, it's going to be for keeps. But it almost happened. And then I did get married, and Steve, my husband, ended up coming to America to work. So he left me with a 6-month-old, and it's like, okay, single mom. And that put a strain on the marriage. And I was in England, and, you know, it was like, prior to that, it was like, okay, I'm going to see the attorney and start the paperwork and everything. And it was just like, no, you got to go back to America and make this work. I came back and it worked out, but the other significant thing was our next door neighbours, David and Janet, and I used to see her going out every Wednesday. So one day I just asked her, you know, where she went. She said, oh, we go to this church event. And I said, well, could we come? She said, yeah, sure. So we ended up going there, and that's where we studied the Bible and became Christians within that church. When we saw the marriages that they were in the church, and when we talked about how we grew up and the things that we'd been through, it's like, wow, these people, they've been through similar things and they're still together. I don't think we'd be together if we hadn't have met David and Janet, our next door neighbours. I don't think I would have come back
I mean, we've been married a good long while, and I'm so grateful and thankful for that I didn't just end up to be another statistic kind of thing. And also that I didn't do things the way my mum wanted me to do them. You know, I found my own way, did things, made my own mistakes. So the divorce thing, I'm just grateful. You know, it's something that we can talk to the girls about as well. You know, how it's in God's hands what's going to happen, and you don't have to. Your life doesn't have to be determined by what has gone on or the negative things that have gone on in it.
Sure.
Yeah. So
Okay.
tell me about where you grew up.
Okay. Are we running?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
yeah,
running.
just look at me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's
So I'm
just
just
gonna be
gonna-
one big take.
Okay. I was born and raised in Germany. I lived there till I was 19. I was born in a town called Barntrup, 5,000 people, so nothing super exciting, but it was super safe. I just really didn't like the place I was in, and I just wanted to break out. And I was just looking through the newspaper, and I saw au pair in San Diego, California. So I applied. I got a phone call, and they had asked me if I could come to the United States. While I was here in the States, I fell in love with somebody, and then when it was time for me to leave, it was really hard to say goodbye. So I left, and then he followed me to Germany. Got married in Germany. You know, when you're in love, you do anything, so went back to California. So we were married for about 2.5 years, and then I noticed that he had a drinking problem. I also noticed mood swings, highs and lows, suicidal bad, and then super, super highs. And then I talked to his mom and to his sister, and they've always had a suspicion that he was manic depressive. It got really a lot worse, to the point where he got verbally extremely abusive, very, very abusive. If somebody is in a condition or has a condition of manic depression, you just don't know what to do because you just don't know much about it, other than trying to get that particular person help, and there was just no response on the other side. After 10 years of that, I was done. So it was tough. It was really tough when you have to leave somebody you absolutely love. He was threatening, like once a month, that he would commit suicide if I wasn't going to come home. And there comes a time where it sounds horrible, but there comes a time after 10 years where you say, okay, get it over with. You know, because you're just so, you know, you don't take it personal anymore because you know that you have no part of it. It takes a lot of time and a lot of strength to really say that, but he needed help. I tried to help him, and at one point you really just got to wash your hands and say, you know what, I love myself more. I tried to help you, you don't want to help yourself, and then you just got to move on with your life.
After I spoke with you last night on the phone, talking about how this was going to go, and you said, are you sure you want to do this? I really started to feel like it's almost another coming of age, because it's one thing to do something. It's quite another thing to make it public and stand by it.